EmProGage is a gathering of people sharing some deep common values about wanting to make the world a better place. We work for what's best for the world by intentionally choosing empathy, proactivity and engagement, for example. I think that's a very strong mission statement, and it sort of goes through everything we do. It's an organism consisting of cells and cell areas. So if EmProGage is an organism, we have a couple of cell areas, or perhaps organs, where the consultancy part is one, educational part is one, and then we have internal cell areas for internal stuff that we need to take care of, and we have a development organ as well, where we develop things that we can use both internally and externally. And within those organs or cell areas there are cells where we gather persons with a specific interest or competence area, for example. And those cells can be more or less permanent. We can put together a cell for a task that we need to do, a project externally.
The transparency would have to be very high, so I would say there is a common denomination you can call need to know or nice to know. So need to know is the information or communication that is in the cells that you are present in. Then you will have to have a very high community level in that cell, within the cell. But you also need to have a transparency to all other cells, but you can't get notifications all the time, or so you're more on a level where you can engage if you like. So the information, or whatever you call it, is there for you, but it's not put in your hands all the time. So you get to choose when you like that information, or if you. But there is also a need of course, of a communication between the cells. So because of that, we have taken all the cells denominated, for instance, consultant cells, and we have a learning conference once a year. Lessons learned and practices and how to organize and good learning examples and so on, and we learn from each other. So there is a communication between the cells that is also on a need to know basis, and the same for the educational cells and the same for and so on. So 4 times a year there is a whole day conference devoted for each of the cell areas, as we call them. And then there is also a need of course, of communication in the whole EmProGage, and in a day-to-day basis that is done in a digital environment. But twice a year we meet for a lunch-to-lunch conference, where we have strategy meeting together. We get to know each other, and we also decide together on issues that can't be decided by the cells. That is, for instance, relations between the entity of EmProGage and the entity of the companies that the people themselves are running.
I think openness is a very good, good word, and also I think love.
I feel that I can bring up anything, and I mean really anything. So it's a fantastic climate in that way, so far at least. Lots of energy and lots of ideas, and lots of ideas, and also some ideas and theories being on the edge, on the border to what I can actually grasp or understand even, which is very interesting, and it's an interesting environment to be in because I feel I grow.
Life affirming, life gets a crazy life. That means I get as much energy at least as I put in, and I get not only inspired, I also get engaged, I get proactive, I get empathic, I get togetherness, I get creativity, I get, and so on, and so on, and so on.
It's encouraging. I feel that I can do pretty much what I like, and if I don't do everything that we've talked about, that's okay, and there's probably a good reason for that. So, how should I say? It's an open, encouraging, very much encouraging style. Leadership is, of course, also other people taking initiatives.
We have chosen to have, for instance, a triad that may are demanded to take several decisions for operational things. Some of the decisions are grounded in law that needs to be taken, and some are trying to tap into different thoughts in their organizations and summoning up to what we think is a correct decision to take. And some of the things are just instant thoughts. This should be or could be very important. I think the decisions made are made out of best knowledge in that moment by the people in the room. And but also the decision isn't made carved in stone. The decisions are the best decisions we could make today, and not saying that we can't make another decision tomorrow. And that may be, because that's a new way of looking to things. And it's not the same thing as we decide something in the room and then we go to the coffee room and we have another decision. It's not that kind of decision making. But if we have new fact, new input on a decision made, then we can use that to see if our decisions are wise enough, if it's supported and supportive of our goal. And if it's not, then we can change the decision. And it's everybody that says, that decision, I don't think it's right, let's suggest. But what we can't do, I think, is make a decision, question it, and don't have any suggestion of how to improve the decision. I think that's the difference.
I feel that we all are free to take the decisions necessary to improve, to develop, to continue improving EmProGage and creating businesses and so on.
I would also say that self is not only self-organized, the cell itself can take any decision that is needed to be able to do whatever it likes to do, or it can also take a decision that is affecting all other cells.
Yeah, I can ask any one of you to help if needed, but I don't have to ask anyone for permission. So if I see something, if I see an area of improvement or come up with an idea, it's basically up to me to make it happen, if I think it's a good thing. So it's both a responsibility and a freedom, which is fantastic.
So the value distribution is twofold. One is based on, we can call it delivery. We can call it delivery for a while. On a delivery basis, 17% is staying in our joint environment, EmProGage, and 83% is going out to the cells for the work they do, and they distribute it depending on how they have done the work. And then there is the other realm, so to speak, which is based on the ownership, and the entity EmProGage itself only needs to grow its capital when there are new people joining, onboarding. And if we have some kind of we can call it result that is positive, and when we have it, I would say, then it's distributed to everyone. So everyone has the same share in EmProGage. So every person has one share, every EmProGager has one share. And for that share, you get the value distribution from the results in the end of every year.
I think it's a collective of people that is more self-aware, maybe, and have been asking yourself questions for maybe longer time or in more depth than the average group of consultants, if I would like to relate us to others. I think the level of self-awareness is great. I think we don't always have the answer of how to use that self-awareness, but I do think we are a brave group of people that often asks ourselves questions. I think the average EmProGager believes in a greater thing, in things that aren't feelings or emotions, energy levels, a cosmic connection. I think more than average, the EmProGagers do believe in that, I think. Or maybe are open to the possibilities, because even if I haven't been able to formulate myself, I think the openness towards, yeah, it's possible, everything is possible. It could be in any way, and it could be in several different ways at the same time.
We are a bunch of people who realize that we have a choice. We have been conscious of our own consciousness. We have practiced choice for a while, and we now got together. And I would say we are all on a common good level, not on a self-actualization level. And I would say that we're exploring that together. And that said, I would also say that, with that said, I would also say that I'm looking forward to exploring it